I tried Jeffree Star Skin so you don't have to. This isn't clickbait, bitch. You really don't have to.
Pink as the sheets that we lay on. 'Cause pink, it's my favorite crayon.
Don't worry. I hate me too. Hello, Champagne Dreamers. Welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, thank you for stopping by. I hope you'll stick around. My name is Janessa, and I am North Dakota's trash queen of glam, geek, and gore. And for today, we're going to be filming the intro. Even I don't know how it turns out yet. What I liked, what I didn't, whether I think it's worth buying for most of it. Spoiler alert, not really. We're going to be talking about the Jeffree Star Skin. I'm going to be doing a full review of the Jeffree Star Skin line. And I'm super excited to try this out. I have been neglecting my skincare for a while. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about why I decided to try out this skincare line. We're going to talk about all the products, and we're going to talk about what I think is maybe a good deal and what is not. So if you're interested in that, then go ahead and stick around. We're getting into it right now. Alright, so I decided I had passed on the Jeffree Star Skin when it first came out, and they've been adding new products, and I'm a little bit of a packaging whore, so I have to say that the packaging did appeal to me. It's bulky and it's wacky, but it's kind of my aesthetic. I am also bulky and wacky. I decided, you know what, I'm going to give it a try, and the reason why I decided to try it is because I am over 40. I know, hard to believe, right? Please say yes. I am over 40 and I have oily skin, and I feel like it's hard to find people on YouTube that are doing oily skin content at all, and the people who are all like in their 20s, maybe their early 30s. I don't find a lot of people who are oily that are over 40. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this out because oily skin is different. Oily skin definitely is something to keep in mind. It's taken me a long time to figure out my skincare routine, and I did have a pretty good skincare routine put together. I've got this video right here if you want to learn more about that. But with the continuing pandemic, and I've had some stress at work and some things going on, I have really neglected my skincare. And so I really needed something to help kickstart me back into doing my skincare on a regular basis. I just haven't taken that time for self-care and pampering. So my skin, I'm starting to see some problems. And so I was like, you know what? This will be a good chance for me to really review this line because I'm not coming from the place of using my normal expensive skincare routine that I normally do and that works pretty well for my skin. I'm coming from a place of I've kind of let it slide, and we've got some problems and some, you know, maybe some breakouts and things. So I was like, let's go ahead and give it a shot. All right, so before we get started, I know Jeffree Star, controversial figure. Some people don't like Jeffree Star. They don't want anything to do with Jeffree Star. They want to purge his name and face from their very experience. I can understand that. If you want to click out of this video, I don't care. Now, if you don't like Jeffree Star, you may want to stick around because we are going to burn some trash because I overall generally did not like this line. I am over 40, I have oily skin, and I'm always looking for things that are going to work for me. So I was like, you know what? I was not sold on the Jeffree Star Skin line. And then he put out a few more products and a few more products. And I was like, you know what? For science, I feel like I owe it to my fellow oily beasts to try this out because it can be hard to find stuff that works for our skin. I talked about this in my video, so definitely go watch that if you want the full picture. But I talked about the fact that there are a lot of things that say that they are for all skin types that don't really mean all skin types. And what I mean by that is that if something says that it's for all skin types, it means that it will do the thing that it's advertised to do for all skin types. It doesn't mean that it's formulated to be comfortable or at all a pleasant experience on all skin types. So for those of us who are oily, things that are a little bit more emollient, a little bit on the greasier, lotiony kind of side, can feel really heavy. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not going to do the thing. So if it's like brightening, if it's, something that's supposed to help with breakouts or whatever, it can do that on all skin types, but it doesn't mean it's going to be comfortable. So that's why I was like, you know what, let's try it out and see if this is something that we can work with. Spoiler alert, again, it's not. So let's talk about what's in the line. I went from 0 to 60, as I tend to do. So I picked up the whole line. So if you watch my skincare video, you'll know that from my early training as an Avon lady, let me know if you want a video about that experience. The steps for skincare that I learned to follow are cleanse, tone, treat, moisturize. So for cleansing, we've got the Strawberry Water Cleanser. And I did pick up 2 of these because this is the skincare product that I'm probably most likely to go through the quickest, because I do my cleansing in the shower. Even if I slack off on other parts of my skincare routine, I usually at least get a good face wash in. And then we have the Strawberry Water Toner. There aren't a lot of treatment products in the line yet, but I did pick up the 2 that they have available. We have the Morning Dew Hydrating Eye Cream and the Vitamin C Skin Perfecting Serum. Now, I do want to give this a chance, and I do want to treat it like I would treat these products if I were buying them for my skincare routine. So I'm going to look at the ingredients. If there are any ingredients that I normally include in my skincare routine that are not in either of those 2 products, I'll add additional things into the routine, and I'll be sure to include that in the video when I do the follow-up after I've used the products. For moisturizer, I have 2 jars of the moisturizer, the original and the banana. So I don't remember enough about what's different between these 2 formulas, but what I'm planning to do is for the first 2 weeks, I'm going to use this as my day cream, the original, and I'm going to use the banana as my night cream, because I don't mind a heavier, greasier feeling cream at night because I'm just going to bed. I'm not going out into the world. And then after 2 weeks, I'm going to switch them so that I'll use the banana as my day cream and I'll use the original as my night cream. And that way I can see maybe it's good but only for nighttime, or maybe it really is light enough that I could use it during the day and not feel greasy. So I'm going to play around with these 2 and switch them up while I'm doing the routine. There are also 2 of the lip masks. I did get the original Repair and Revive lip mask, as well as the Lavender Lemonade Repair and Revive lip mask. It says the same thing, just different smells. And I'm going to go ahead and use these. I use these kind of lip masks a lot when I'm going to sleep. Sometimes I'll throw them in my bag and I'll have them as like a lip balm, but usually I use these at nighttime. And although this isn't technically part of the skin line, I've been using the Jeffree Star Velour lip scrubs for a long time. I love them. They're only $12. And when he did the banana extension to the skin line, he did put out some flavors. So I've got the banana cream pie, and I'm going to go ahead and use this to exfoliate my lips once or twice a week, and then just use the lip mask every day. Then we have the Make Me Melt. This is a makeup removing balm. I have used this a couple times. This one I was like, I didn't have to wait. So I already have some thoughts brewing about this, but I'll include some footage of me using it so you can get a sense of how this product works. And I am a sucker for a good mask, so of course I had to pick up the Lavender Lemonade Tranquility Face Mask. I'm very excited for this. He did say that you can use this as like a leave-on treatment at night, so I may try that a couple times, or I might just do... It seems like it's one of those masks that doesn't fully harden, so I don't love that as much. Again, I'm oily, so I love a clay mask that really just hardens down to concrete and sucks out all the oil. But we're going to play around with this. We're going to try it and just see if it does what I need it to do. And finally, rounding out the line, there are 2 facial sprays. In the original line, we had the Glow Spray, which is just sort of kind of like a setting spray or just like a facial refresher that you can use throughout the day whenever you just spray it on. It's got a lovely fragrance. Then there's the Lavender Lemonade Sleep... Oh, went through puberty there for a second. Then there's the Lavender Lemonade Sleep Mist, and this you can use at nighttime. Lavender is great for falling asleep, so I love the smell of lavender, and this lavender mixed with lemon I think is beautiful. So I'm excited to use both of these sprays along with all the skincare. So like I said, I'm going to use this for at least a month. We'll see how long the products last. I'm going to use them until I run out, and then basically once I start running out of a majority of products, I will then film the follow-up on our next filming day and just give you some close-ups of how my skin is looking. So let's go ahead and take a look at a close-up of the before. Now let's take a look at some video from after. Now, as you can see in this footage, I feel like my skin is brighter. I feel like there's definitely some improvement, but I don't feel like it's necessarily anything groundbreaking. So the redness has subsided a little bit. There's still a lot going on under the skin. Now, when I first started this, things got rough. And that's something that when you first start a skincare regimen, that can absolutely happen. Because anything that's hanging around in your skin, the first few weeks of that skincare routine, your skin might look ratchet. And a lot of people quit because it freaks them out or whatever. But what's happening is that your skin has built up stuff, and there's stuff that's in there that's not supposed to be there. And so it starts stirring that stuff up and starting to get it out. And it starts to get your skin into that routine and starts to regulate. So if that happens in the first couple weeks, don't freak out, stick with it. Because what it's doing is it's purging. It's getting all of that stuff out. And it's like, oh, okay, this is the new normal. We're going to cleanse. We're going to have something that restores pH balance. We're going to have something that takes away some of the excess oil that we don't need. So all of that kind of stuff, be aware. But I was it took me 3, 4, 5 weeks to get through that phase. And I was really worrying that I almost stopped because I thought this is from this set of products. And it turns out okay, but as you can see that even though it's a little bit brighter, there's a little bit less redness, it's still not that improved. It's not that perfected. So, not that I'm looking for miracles, but I really was looking for a little bit more of the stuff going on under the skin to clear up. Now, to get started, look at this. Look at this hooker clown before you. I am not a dermatologist. I am not an esthetician. If a real esthetician saw most of the things that I do to my face with makeup and shaving and cleansing and all these kinds of things, they might be horrified. I have talked to professionals and I have worked with them on my skincare routine, but I am just a skincare enthusiast. So I don't know why I have to explain this to you, but before you make any major changes, you should not be taking medical advice from this. It shouldn't happen. So don't go off and ruin your face and tell everybody that I told you to do it. I'm just telling you my experience and what has worked for me. If you want recommendations of products, I can tell you what worked for me. But if you're going to do anything medical, anything that impacts and goes in or on your body, you should talk to a professional. So that's my legal disclaimer as we get into me talking about my experience with these junk products. Now let's talk about the experience of using these products. I hated it. Now, if you have dry skin, it's possible that some of these might work really well for you. I don't know if even normal skin it might be too much, but maybe if you're dry, maybe it will soak in a different way. As an oily beast, all of this stuff just felt like it was sitting on the surface. And I'm not just talking about the moisturizer. I'm not just talking about the treatment products. I mean, the cleanser didn't even make my skin feel clean. I felt like after I was done using the cleanser, I felt like there was a residue. It wasn't that clean feeling that I'm used to feeling after using a good cleanser. I cleanse in the mornings, I cleanse in the shower. And so I'm under a full shower and I am washing my face with my hands. And usually if I've got a good cleanser, I feel this just it just feels clean. It just feels like things are gone. It's like my skin can breathe. This, I felt like there was still some sort of residue. Then I would go and use the toner. Same thing. It felt like more residue. So I'm already going into it with the two products that are supposed to take stuff away and they're supposed to make me feel like I've just got a clean, blank, open canvas. Felt like there was residue. Then I started adding these products on top that were just too heavy. The moisturizers, especially the banana moisturizer, too heavy for just everyday wear. I could feel them, and not only could I feel them, have you ever had that experience where maybe you've put on your skincare and you rub your eyes, you rub around your eyes, and your skincare gets in your eyes and it stings? I felt that every day. At some point, either if I was sweating a little bit or if I rubbed around my eyes, every day I would have stinging because I could feel the products get in my eyes. And it was irritating me. It was terrible. It was so frustrating because then I would have to take a wet wipe or whatever I could find, sometimes just my t-shirt, and I would have to try to wipe around my eye and in my eye to try to get that out because it would just sting, and sometimes it was so bad I couldn't keep my eyes open. Like, that feeling was terrible, and I always felt like there was residue. Now, the sprays were the worst. The absolute worst. I used about half of it because I do like the smell of this. And I tried, and I was like, I'm putting it on before bed. Does it matter if there's a residue? Yeah, it fucking matters. I would spray it on, and one time I woke up in the night to go to the bathroom, and I touched my face, and I could feel it pilling. You know how if you've got like too much cream, or there's too much something, and you get that like pilling, where you can actually wipe it off? I had that. Now, I've used lots of products with lavender in them. So I know some people are going to say, oh, it's just a reaction, it's allergic, whatever. I use things with lavender all the time. My usual night cream is the Laneige Lavender Night Cream. I love it. I love the smell. I never have a problem with it. Every time I would spray this lavender spray before bed, I would wake up and my face would be like red and inflamed, and it just was not happy. And it would be gunky. And it just was like, and again, I could feel it. I could touch my skin and just feel the residue. Gross. So let's go ahead and go product by product, and I'll just tell you what I thought. First up is the cleanser. This is the Strawberry Water Clarifying Cleanser. Now, this one is empty, and I have another one that I actually am about halfway through. I don't know if I'm going to finish it, because like I said, when I would use this, I didn't feel like my face was clean. I usually use the Soap and Glory cleanser, and I love it. It's got a fresh smell, and it just, when you're done, your face just feels clean. I can't explain it any better than that. Just like, it feels like things are gone. It doesn't feel like there's stuff on it. This felt like it was leaving behind a residue. And it's too fucking expensive. This is $28. Why? So I used the Soap and Glory, like I said, the Soap and Glory cleanser. I did some Gen Love shit here, so let me get out my paper. I've got some math in this bitch. So let's talk a little bit about what you get. Like, this is $28. You get 4.63 ounces. The Soap and Glory is 11.8 ounces, like 2.5 times as much, and it costs $12. There's no reason for this to cost as much as it needs to. And that's something that I've always said. When people ask me for skincare advice, I've always said that you should not pay more than like $12, $15 for a cleanser. Unless it's a really big bottle. If you're getting like a bulk size, then maybe you would pay more. There's no reason to. You put it on your face. As long as it's cleaning you, you wash it right off. You don't need fancy ingredients, because all that stuff, like this claims it's got like, I think it said it had niacinamide and shit in this. None of this is staying on your face. You're rubbing it on your face and you're washing it off. Maybe that's why it felt like it had a residue. Is maybe some of that stuff was sticking around. If it was, it wasn't pleasant. And all of that stuff should be coming in the treatment steps. So absolutely not. Absolutely not. Next up, we have the Strawberry Water Facial Toner. I know that some people really disagree with this sort of thing. In addition to a regular toner, I will sometimes use like an astringent a couple times a week because I do tend to break out. I am very oily. So I will use that. Some people are really against anything alcohol based. I get it. You do you, boo-boo. That's what I do. That's what I've always done. But in terms of even leaving that aside, this did not give me any of the benefits. In a toner, I like a little bit of chemical exfoliation. I use the Mario Badescu glycolic acid toner. This, again, I didn't feel like I was necessarily much cleaner, and I felt like I was getting a second residue. So not only did I not feel like this was taking off the residue that the cleanser, I felt like I was adding to it. I felt like things were building up. I don't want those first two steps in my routine to feel like they're still there. They should be put on, and then they should go, and it should just be like, oh, blank canvas. That's not how this felt. This, also $28. This is $28 for 4.5 ounces. The Mario Badescu, you get 8 ounces for $18. Now, again, you don't have to use my recommendations, but for me with oily skin, these are products that I've really loved, and they work, and they're cheaper. They're so much cheaper. I just don't understand why people would overpay when they just have much better options. This just was not a pleasant or comfortable experience. Now let's get into treatment. So treatment, again, that's where you probably want to spend the most of your skincare budget. That's where I like to put most of my skincare budget. Moisturizer, I want a good moisturizer too, but treatment is where it's at. Now, when I was going into this, I was like, I mostly want to just use the Jeffree Star Skin, but his brand is still fairly new and there aren't a lot of treatment products. So I always look for an eye cream, and the three things that I like to use in my face routine are vitamin C, niacinamide, and hyaluronic acid. So the original collection did launch with an eye cream, and with the Star Wedding collection that he released, he put out the vitamin C Skin Perfecting Serum. Now, because I like to have those three things, I like to have vitamin C, niacinamide, and hyaluronic acid, I decided I would give myself permission to include other products in the routine. Now, I looked into the ingredients, and not only does this have vitamin C, it also has niacinamide. So all I needed was some hyaluronic acid. So I supplemented this routine with the Good Molecules Hyaluronic Acid Serum. Now, I always use a hyaluronic acid, but this is the first time that I've used this hyaluronic acid. While I was first starting the routine, my skin felt so heavy and it felt so gross, like such residue, that I actually discontinued using this for a whole week because I wanted to make sure that I was giving the Jeffree Star Skin products a fair shake. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't blaming it for some sort of texture problem that might be coming from this serum. I discontinued this serum for a week. There was no difference to my experience whatsoever. So all of the bad texture, the heaviness, the greasiness, all of that was coming from the Jeffree Star products. Now this, you can see, I've used quite a bit of this. We're down to the bottom. I use this pretty much every day and most evenings. Now, I've always been open about the fact that I'm much more likely to do my skincare in the morning because I cleanse in the shower, and then it's part of my routine to get out and do the whole skincare. I don't do my skincare every single night. That's the whole thing. Every night that I did my skincare, I did this treatment product. You can see I've used quite a bit of it, but there's still a lot in there. My only real concern, I didn't mind this, and with the before and after footage, you saw that my skin is brighter. There was less redness, it was a little bit brighter, and that is one of the things that vitamin C is supposed to help with. But I will say that vitamin C is a little bit tricky, it can be a little bit fickle, and it's hard to store sometimes because it can react to sunlight poorly. So to have a jar that's this big, that is like a clear frosted glass, makes me question the longevity of this product. I haven't had any bad experiences. I haven't noticed any change in smell or texture. I would say keep this in your medicine cabinet and maybe bring it out. So that it doesn't just sit on your vanity. My bathroom, the only like natural light that comes in is through a window that's in the shower. It's an old house. So it's behind the shower curtain. So I left this out because there's not a lot of direct sunlight. But especially if your bathroom gets a lot of direct sunlight or anything, I would maybe keep this in a drawer or in the medicine cabinet just to help with that longevity if you did pick this up. The other treatment product, this is the eye cream. I used about half of this. I don't love this. It's too heavy for me to wear it during the day. It's just too much. And this weird little metal pad, I know that's like a thing now where a lot of products will have these little metal pieces, but mine is just like coated in product and you have to clean it off. And you have to get like a wet wipe and it gets in all the little nooks and crannies. So I couldn't really wear it during the day because it was too heavy. And using this was, like the metal against the skin, I guess was cooling. It was fine, but it just wasn't, it was hard to use. And again, most of my skincare is done during the day and it was too heavy for that. I didn't get all the way through this. I'll probably keep using it until I use it up, but I didn't notice any really like staggeringly good effects. And it just was kind of a pain to use. So now let's talk about the moisturizer. So I went through 2 full jars of the moisturizers. I bought one of the original and one of the banana, and I was like, this is how long we'll do the experiment. I will do the experiment as long as I have moisturizer left to use. So there's the empty pink jar and the empty yellow jar. 2 jars. We used all of the product in there, and I did not love the experience. So these are a little bit cheaper than some of the moisturizers that I buy. I didn't work out the like math. I didn't Stephanie Nicole that bitch where I like went into the ounces and all that kind of stuff. But these are only $28. And you get 1.8 ounces of product. That seems okay. I don't know how that compares. But I would much rather pay more for a moisturizer and get a better experience. Because again, these just felt so heavy. And I did use both of them. And at first, when I first started, I was doing my night treatments more often. I was a little better at keeping up. And so what I did for the first couple of weeks is I used the original and then used the banana one for night. And then the second week I switched them. And then after the second week, I kind of got lazy with doing my night routine anyway. And so I just kind of would swap them from time to time. So I was using a little bit of both of them at any given time. So like I would do a few days with the original, a few days with the banana. At night, if I happened to do my skincare at night, I would just use the opposite of whatever I used during the day. I was using both of them, and I did not love them. The banana was a little bit heavier. That one was tougher for a day cream because it just felt much heavier. I always felt greasier. I definitely got more stinging in my eyes when I wore that one. The original was a little bit better, but not great. And for oily skin, there's much better options out there that don't feel as heavy, don't feel as greasy. This never felt like it completely absorbed into my skin. And that's really what I'm looking for. Like, I'm looking for something that's going to have a little bit more of a gel texture, a little bit of something that's going to absorb into my skin and just create that sort of like protective barrier. So I want it to feel like it's kind of sealing me off from gross stuff that's not supposed to be there, but I don't want it to feel like it's just laying. It never felt like it was halfway absorbed. It just felt like it was laying on my skin. It wasn't a good experience. I did not like it. If you are oily, I think you're going to have trouble with these products. I think they're one of those all skin type products where it's somebody who has never had oily skin before and they don't know what it feels like, they don't know how it works, and that's kind of their perspective. So in terms of the main skincare line, in terms of the cleanser, the toner, the vitamin C serum, the eye cream, and the 2 moisturizers, would I repurchase any of them? Absolutely not. I would not. There are other products that I can get that are a better value, that feel better on my face, that are better treatment products. I just would not buy these again. I'm just not into it. I just don't think it's worth the money. There are so many better options that are cheaper, that you get more product, they work better, and they don't leave that residue. So now let's talk about the accessory products. Let's talk about the things outside of the typical cleanse, tone, treat, moisturize. These mists, you can see that this one is barely used. I gave up on this one real fast. This one I really tried because I did like this lavender lemonade smell, and it did help me sleep if I didn't mind waking up caked in residue and feeling it like pill on my skin if I touched my cheek. Like, it just was not great. So this one I really gave it the college try. This milky nastiness, I was like, nope, this is not refreshing, this is not relaxing. There is nothing about this that brings joy into any part of my life. So I gave up real fast. And this is probably gonna go in the trash. Some of this stuff, the leftovers that I have, I may try to rehome it. I don't know that I would even give this to somebody. It's that bad. I really do hate it that much. There were a couple of products that I liked, but that there are just such better options out there. And the first 2 are these lip masks. So this is the original. This is the lavender lemonade. And I really did like these. And I use lip balms and lip masks all the time. And these I used almost up, and I'm going to complete them. I'm going to finish them off. This one, you can kind of see that there's a whole lot dug out of there. And this one I keep in my office, and so I use it a little bit less often, but you can see I'm still pretty deep in there. And I'm going to use both of these up. I do like them, but there's just better options out there. I use the Laneige Sleeping Mask. I love this. This feels a little bit less greasy than the Jeffree Star. The Jeffree Star is fine. It's not too bad, but it feels a little bit greasy. This is a little bit less. And this one, you get 20 grams. This one, you get 20 grams, and it's $24. The Jeffree Star is half that, 10 grams, and it's $16. Let's Stephanie Nicole this bitch. So I did actually work out the math on the lip masks, and these are legitimately $10 less per ounce. So for Jeffree Star, the lip mask is $16, and you get 10 grams, which works out to 0.35 ounces, which makes the total cost per ounce $45.71 per ounce. With Laneige, you get double. You get 20 grams or 0.7 ounces. and it's $24, which works out to $35.28 per ounce. So it's $10 cheaper per ounce. Now, I know that it's not that much difference. It's like $16 versus $24. Really is the much better deal. I like the feel of it better. In terms of how they performed, in terms of how I felt they worked, they seemed about even to me. I mean, I still prefer the Laneige. I prefer the experience of it. But in terms of how they actually performed the ingredients, I couldn't really tell a big difference. And so I would rather get that value. I'd rather have the better experience. I'd rather have it smell like gummy bears. And I just prefer it. I will finish the ones I have, but I don't need to buy it again. Then we have the Tranquility Mask, and I don't have that here. That one is actually, I forgot it at home. It was packed away in a suitcase from a trip I took. I've used that a few times. I've almost used it up. I will use it up, but it's not the kind of mask experience that I enjoy. So to me, a true mask should either be something that is sort of clay-based, and it should harden to a crust, and then you wash it off. Now, that's what I prefer because I'm an oily beast. So clay will help absorb oil, and then you wash it away, and then you can moisturize over top of that. If you are drier, you don't necessarily want a clay because it'll pull out moisture, and then it'll be even drier. Those people usually prefer gel masks, where it's a gel, it dries down and hardens into a film that you can then peel off. This is one of those, like, masks that's really more of a treatment. So it's kind of like a lot of the Glam Glow products. Those you would put them on and they wouldn't necessarily harden down to a full crust. A couple of them did, but most of them, they just stayed on your skin for 10 to 15 minutes and then you wash them off. But they didn't like harden into a mask. That's what the Jeffree Star mask is. And it's fine, but it's not anything special. I would much rather buy a $6, $8 Queen Helene Mint Julep mask and really get some oil pulled out of my skin, then just put that stuff on my skin for 10 to 15 minutes and then wash it off. Now, he also said that you could put it on and leave it overnight. Jesus, suffering fuck. Don't do it. If you thought it was bad that I was talking about the residue with the spray, he said you could put it on and leave it overnight. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't believe that he actually ever did that because it was so uncomfortable. And when I woke up in the morning, it felt like I had something on my face, like shit on my face. Like it felt like sludge, just like dried onto my face. It was horrible. It was one of the worst experiences ever. So I would absolutely not recommend the overnight treatment experience. I think if you ended up with it, maybe you got it in a mystery treat, or maybe you bought it, I think it's fine, use it up or whatever. There's so many better and much less expensive options for a mask. If you are oily, you cannot go wrong with the Queen Helene Mint Julep mask. It's like $6 to $8 to $10, depending on where you pick it up. It's so good. It's so good. I love it. Now you're probably wondering, is this whole thing just going to be a bashing video? There was one product that I loved, and it was such a surprise. The Make Me Melt Makeup Removing Balm. This stuff is amazing. I'm new to makeup removing balms. It's something that I discovered fairly recently. People have been talking about it. Jen Love talks about them, doing the double cleanse. And so when I'm doing makeup, this is so good. I love this. Now, I've used a couple of other makeup removing balms. I bought the ones from Zero, and those almost had like a weird Vaseline petroleum jelly smell to them. This doesn't have any kind of smell, and it just melts my makeup off. Now, I'm going to go ahead and insert some footage where I turn into a melted clown, and I show you how this works. All right, so we have just finished up a long filming day with some upcoming videos, so look for this Technicolor nightmare, but I'm going to go ahead and take off my makeup. This is the Jeffree Star Skin Make Me Melt Makeup Removing Balm. So this is how much I'm taking. We'll see if this ends up being too much. I don't know how to tell. When is too much too much? Clearly, I don't know when too much is not enough. So, I haven't done anything... Oh, I was going to say I haven't done anything but remove the lashes, but clearly I had not actually done that yet. So, good thing I didn't ruin those. Let's go ahead and work this onto the face. I mean, with any of these balms, because of how much makeup I wear, and especially because of how much base I wear, I don't know that any other balm... I've used the Zero cleansing balm, and I feel like the same thing happens. I do feel like this one is less... The Zero balm, I get a weird smell from it. It smells almost like petroleum jelly-esque. I don't get that with this. I don't get really much of any kind of smell at all. And right now that I'm not like touching it and rubbing it, I don't really feel it on my face. It's really light. It's really comfortable to use. I'm sure I look terrifying, so let me go ahead and take a look in the mirror. Oh, yeah.
Am I pretty?
So I'm going to go ahead and work some of this over the eye makeup, because obviously... But the eyebrows are gone. I mean, even just from rubbing it onto my face, the eyebrows are gone, gone, gone. So that's good. We'll work that onto there. We'll work this down onto there. It's a process. You gotta trust the process. If anything, the mascara is the part that maybe doesn't come up. I sometimes have a little bit left. But when I'm doing the eyes, I feel like even if I get some in my eyes, I've got a little tiny stinging right now. But like the Zero, I feel like I really feel it when I get it in my eyes. It really kind of stings.
You have the pink dyed eyebrow.
Oh no!
Yeah.
But the eye makeup came off pretty well, except for the part that's stained. Probably would have helped if I took the nails off before I did this as well, but that'll show you that even with my crazy nails, I can do this. It's sort of weird, and it does feel kind of, I don't know, strange and like melted circus clown, but I'm kind of on board with these cleansing balms. Definitely have some staining around the lips as well. But in terms of the makeup, I feel like the only thing that I have are those areas that are stained. So with just 2 makeup wipes, that's definitely an improvement, because usually if I'm doing just makeup wipes, even with micellar water, I feel like I need 5 or 6 makeup wipes. This I needed 2. And I like that it doesn't have a really gross kind of Vaseline-y kind of smell. It's nice and light. It melts the makeup, but I feel like with the Zero, I feel it like melting and then sliding. And it really does start to look like melted clown, like sliding off my face. This melts and stays in place and then lets me wipe it off. So I'm impressed. I've loved this so much, and not only for my drag makeup. So I clearly am a big, like, this is on thick. This is an industrial application. This melts right through it. And when I'm reviewing for my website and I'm doing swatches, this is a godsend to like switch out the products, because a lot of times if I'm doing shadows, they might stain a little bit or there's a little bit of residue. It's hard with just a makeup wipe, even with micellar water sometimes, to get all of the residue off of my arm when I'm swatching. Using this in between and then just making sure I wipe it down with a dry towel to clear it off so I can do the next set of swatches has been amazing. I am pretty much done with this. You can see that there's a little bit. Clearly, I just reached my dirty, gross fingers in there, so there's some, like, black residue from the last time I used it. I loved this so much that I have bought a replacement. This is the only thing from that line that I would really consider buying again. The other ones, the things that I kind of liked, I have much better options. Maybe if the Laneige lip mask gets discontinued, I would think about coming back to the Jeffree Star. But this is my favorite cleansing balm now. I haven't tried a ton of them, so I may still try other ones to see if there's ones that I like better. But compared to the ones I've tried so far, this is head and shoulders above, because it doesn't have that gross, like, oil smell to it. Like, there's something that smells like oil, like olive oil or like kitchen oil. Like, it's just not good. This has no smell. It cuts through my makeup. It's wonderful. I love this. This is the one product I absolutely recommend. This. I think it's so good. I mean, it can take care of this, so it'll probably work for you. So it's been an interesting couple of months. I did not love my experience. It was not great. I did not like the feeling of these products. If you are oily and you've tried this, let me know if you had a similar experience down in the comments. I mean, I don't think that I put too much on. I'm pretty good about making sure that I don't overuse products, that I don't put too much on, but I just always felt like I had residue. I always felt like there was residue. I felt like there was stuff sitting on my skin. It just felt disgusting. So let me know if you had a different experience down below. If you have dry skin, let me know what your experience was like. Because maybe these heavier products, that might be wonderful. Your skin might just soak it in and be like, oh, we're in love. But I just didn't. I think that this stuff is not great. If you are oily, if you're over 40 like me, I really don't recommend this. My experience was not a pleasant one. So again, before you make any major decisions, talk to your dermatologist, talk to your esthetician, talk to the professionals. I'm not that kind of professional. But just, I would definitely steer clear. I would be a little wary of trying any of this. I think some of the products, this one you're probably not going to go wrong with, but like I said, if you get a lot of sunlight in your bathroom, maybe think about storing it in a drawer or in the medicine cabinet. This wasn't terrible, but I didn't notice any like real significant improvements. These were fine, but the Laneige is better. But the only real recommendation that I can give in this video is the Makeup Melting Balm. This is a new favorite. This is one that will keep me coming back until I find something better. I mean, I'm always looking, I'm always trying new things, and if I find something that's better, I would switch over, but this is absolutely fantastic. So that's the video. Let me know down below what you think of it, what you thought of this little journey that I went on. I would love to hear your thoughts below. While you're down there, don't forget to give me that thumbs up to tell me you liked the video, you liked my suffering, that I took one for the team so that I could tell you all about this set of products and how they performed. Or if you're a Jeffree Star hater and you just hate my face, you can't believe I spent any money at his company, blah, 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 give me that thumbs down. I will take it. It's all engagement. The algorithm isn't a picky bitch, and neither am I. While you're down there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification icon so you'll be notified of all my future uploads. I've been really good about making sure you get at least one video a week, and sometimes, if you're really lucky, you might even get a bonus video. Ooh, shitty. If you'd like to chat, banter, or commiserate between uploads, all of my social media will be linked down below the video in the description box, including a link to my website, The World of Champagne at JanessaJ.com. Thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate all of you. I'm going to go take off this clown face and I'm going to pamper my skin with some real products that do not make me feel like a crusty, dusty monster. And until I see you again, bye. Look at this. You should not be taking medical advice from this. We stopped to eat, so if anything looks weird, make a joke about wig continuity. I just use the makeup wipes. I know it's not the most ecologically sound, but the world is on fire, Greta Gerwig. We're all gonna die before these makeup wipes cause any problems anyway, so let live. The world is on fire, Greta Gerwig. We're all gonna die before...
The world is on fire, Greta Gerwig. We're all gonna die before...